Okay,
Hey,
beautiful. So, hello everyone. This is super exciting. I am here with my friend and student and Jade Egg practitioner and just all of our badass, Katie May. Um, and so Katie May and I the other day, we were just kind of like messaging back and forth and like riffing on the Jade Egg. And she said something to me that like really, really stood out. And she said something like, Hillary, the Jade Egg really complicated my sex life in a lot of ways. And I was like, ooh, sweet, this sounds juicy. Like, I want to hear more about this. So like, let's go into this. So can we just dive right into this, Katie May? Does that sound cool with you?
yeah, let's
How
do that.
did the Jade Egg complicate your sex life?
Well, I think throughout our conversation, I ended up realizing that the jade egg didn't actually complicate my sex life. It just revealed to me how complicated it was. But at the time, it felt it felt like it was complicating things because the jade egg has helped me to see all the moments that I need to like pause and check in and listen to my yoni. And it's helped me to see sometimes how like I think with my mind that I want to be penetrated because like I remember with the Jade Egg practice years ago in Thailand with you. I remember going to this practice and I was like, all right, I'm going to do a Jade Egg practice. And I went, and when I put the egg at the entrance to my yoni and I asked, like, do you want this? And my yoni said no. I was disappointed because I was there to do a Jade Egg practice. and and my body said no, and I felt disappointed by that. And then after doing that a few more times, I started realizing that when my body said no and I listened to that and I honored that, that was the practice.
Totally, totally.
So then I started being able to, when I was on my own, I started being able to really celebrate. I'd be like self-pleasuring and I put the egg at the entrance to my yoni. And when my yoni would say no, I would say, okay, great. Like I am listening. Yay. And I got to where I could celebrate that. But then in my sex life, when I would really like stop to tune in, I asked my lover and I regularly have conversations around desires, fears, and boundaries. And I asked him for this boundary. I established a boundary that like I don't want to be penetrated until there's been like a pause and an ask. Are you ready for this? And sometimes that happens and like I feel like I'm turned on, and in my mind I really like want to say yes, but when I tune into my yoni says no. And so there were a lot of times that I'd be like sexting with my lover all day, like, I can't wait to see you, I'm so excited, I've been horny all day, and then we're like in the moment and my yoni says no. And I find it's a little harder to celebrate when I'm with someone else and I feel his cock is all erect and he's wanting me and he's ready. You know, it's one thing to say no to an egg and to say no and to be able to celebrate that with myself. But it's a much harder thing to be able to be like, yay, Yoni, when there's a man there with an erection who's like ready to fuck me. And I'm like, no. And it felt like this practice was complicating my sex life because I used to drink alcohol and like have lots of sex with lots of people. And I thought I had like this great sex life. And I did at the time. Actually, I want to be really clear that like anyone who thinks they have a great sex life has a great sex life. Like, no judgment. But for me, I've been seeing how like, yeah, I don't want that anymore. I want to really tune in and pause and ask, do you want this? And often the answer is no. And then what to do with that no is a little trickier when there's someone else there. Like, thankfully, I have a really patient and understanding lover who really honors my no, but it's still tricky. And I find that like I put these projections on him, like I think that he must be frustrated when I say no. And I worry that he's not satisfied. And all that feels kind of complicating.
Totally.
But like I said, I ended up realizing that the Jade Egg didn't complicate my sex life. It just revealed to me all these like layers of complication that I didn't even know were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Totally. And you know what I hear you saying, which is just so beautiful and like articulated so well. It's something that I hear from so many women and people who start to do the Yoni Egg practice, because at least with the way that I am guiding a Yoni Egg practice, every single time, like literally every single time, we're asking the Yoni, do you want to receive this egg today? And honoring the answer that the Yoni gives. And for so many people, it really brings up like the dozens and dozens of times where we have allowed ourselves to be penetrated and entered before we're ready, and the pain and the heartbreak and the anger and the rage that comes along with that. And so it really, like, I really do see people go through this whole healing process with what you're talking about in regards to things in their past. But then, like you're really sharing, it also spills over into the present, because it's like, once we start to really tune in with not our minds yeses and not our hearts yeses, because there might be a yes here and here, but really going a layer deeper and tuning in with the Yoni's yeses and nos and maybes, that can complicate stuff, especially like you said, when you're with somebody who you love, who you care about, who you really want to share that kind of intimacy with, to be like, oh, actually, like something, I'm just not getting a clear yes for this. Like, that can be scary as fuck. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big deal. And it's
Yeah.
so beautiful, I think, to be able to feel safe enough both with ourselves and with someone else eventually, where we can honor those yeses and nos, and where we also, like, I feel like a big component of it is like not creating a huge story around it, which is something that, to be honest, I still do. Like, sometimes there's a no and I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? Is it this or this or this? Is it something that I did, or do we still have this unresolved issue, or what's going on? And it's like, maybe the Yoni is just not feeling it for whatever reason. Just like some days it's like I'm not feeling eating, like, I don't know, like a banana, and other days I am. It was funny, I just said banana. But you know what I mean? It's like, maybe it's not something that needs to be like really like made into something much bigger than, like, it's just not a clear yes today, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yes. And then another thing that I've been noticing is like sometimes I'm a yes to being penetrated, and then halfway through or whatever, like my body's like, no. And I know that like there were so many times in my life that I would just like let him finish, because we're like conditioned to think that like his orgasm is so important, and like all these things about like blue balls, whatever other bullshit. And so another layer of complication for me has been like asking him to stop. And like, and especially in these moments where we're like in it and it's amazing and it's really great. And it's not like I'm like faking it or anything. Like, it'll be really incredible for a while. And then all of a sudden my Yoni's like, that's enough, stop. And to ask my lover to like, please stop. And like, and I find myself often really fighting the urge to apologize. And I like, I'm sorry, but then like I'm not sorry. Like I don't want to say that, but it's almost always there every time. I'm like, can we please stop? I have actually been getting much better at thanking him, just thanking him instead of apologizing to him, but thanking him for being there. But there is almost always this urge to be like, I'm sorry. But like, sorry for what? Sorry for honoring my own body? What kind of bullshit is that?
Totally. Totally. Yeah, I'm really glad you said that. That's another whole aspect of what we're talking about here. And it's actually something I've been experiencing a lot with my lover lately also. So I just like, I want to normalize this stuff. It's like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, shouldn't I be over this? Because it's like, I've done all this work, and it's like, no, like there are so many layers of it. And like so many, I guess, like so many layers that we can deepen into with ourselves, like different ways to honor ourselves and our bodies, yeses and nos. And it's like, it can show up in so many different ways, you
Yeah.
know? So something that's coming up to me right now that I'm curious about is like, how do you think all of this has affected your relationship with, like, with yourself, with your heart, with your yoni and your sexuality? Like hearing your yoni's yeses and nos, and like honoring them, like not only when you're with yourself, but with your partner as well. Like, how do you think that influences just the way that you are in your body and your life and your sexuality?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I think overall it's bringing me this sense of like a deeper connectedness with myself,
Mhm.
and like a pride in that deepening of the connection with myself. Like there are a lot of moments when it feels really awkward and it feels really like, but all this, actually overall, I feel this like, I actually, when I think about it, I want to like sit up straighter and put my shoulders back. Like this, like, I, I felt really proud of myself when I finally made this adjustment from like when my body would say no to the egg, and instead of being disappointed, I was proud that I was listening. It's like there's more and more layers and layers of like, I am switching from like wanting to apologize to my lover to then being like proud of myself for not only like not apologizing, but for like for saying stop, please, like can we pause, can we stop, like, yeah, I feel really proud of myself actually.
So beautiful.
But it's taken a lot of really awkward moments to get to that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So it seems like it's helped you to develop this inner confidence and inner strength and inner empowerment that's like, it's not outside of you, but it's like very deeply rooted in you. Like it is, like it's yours now. It's like no one can take that from you.
Yes. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So can you just like sum up really quickly, or maybe not really quickly, but like how do you think, beyond just asking your yoni, do you want to receive the egg, how do you think that the jade egg practice has contributed to all of this within you?
Um, I think there's something about like setting aside the time to really be with myself and to prioritize pleasure, but also like it's not always pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
The prioritizing of pleasure is really important, and also setting aside the time to be with myself even when, like, no matter what, like, because whenever I go into a jade egg practice, and now whenever I go into like a sexual experience with my lover, like I don't know what's gonna happen, and like, yeah, pleasure is great, and yeah, orgasms are great, but I never know if that's what's coming. And just like really setting aside the time to truly be with myself with whatever comes up, and allowing for whatever it is really powerful, and that has a way of like rippling out into the rest of my life, you know, like there are like, as much as, you know, we go into like maybe like a sexual experience thinking it's going to be pleasurable, and then it gets awkward and we have to stop, and like the next thing I know I'm like crying. This is life. Right? Like we go to a friend's birthday party thinking we're going to have a great time. And then somebody says something shitty. And then the next thing we know, we're like crying on the way home or whatever. And just the ability to like be with myself with whatever comes up instead of, you know, needing it to be a certain way. And so like there's this element of like prioritizing pleasure and making space for it, but then also like not requiring it. For me, like whole good vibes only thing, like, ugh.
No.
It's way more like all vibes welcome, right? And like, yeah, the good vibes are great, but like, but we don't get to live there. So just like, it's really rippled out into like every facet of my life. This like, just being with what is.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love this. And I find that what you're saying right now, like being open, being welcoming, like really accepting whatever wants to come through. It's like generally in our life, this is super important. And especially with sexuality, I find it is, whether it's like a solo sexuality or with a partner, because I think especially for people who are more new on their journey to sexual reclamation and self-discovery and creating more consciousness in it, but actually really it's not just new people, because I experience this also. It's like we never know what we're going to get, you know. It's not all about the pleasure. And to me, it's like when I have a sexual experience with myself or someone else and I'm crying or I'm releasing or memories come up, I'm like, oh, freaking awesome. It's like the full spectrum of human experience is allowed to come through this, and to be able to hold space for ourselves like that, I think is so freaking powerful. And that's what I've noticed in myself and a lot of women. That's what creates very deep healing, when it's like we're not just pushing away these parts of ourself that are like shameful or feel scary, but we're like, as long as it feels safe enough in our system, we're welcoming them and we're learning to hold them and develop so much compassion and love for ourselves and for everything that we've been through. And like you said, then I feel like this just starts to ripple out and touch all aspects of our lives and all of our relations. It's like, it's really something that I love so much about the Yoni egg work, is that like, we are not just working with the yoni and with sexuality. It's like, this affects everything that we're doing in our life. It affects how we relate to ourselves and others, how we're doing our work, our spirituality, really anything that we're endeavoring to do in our lives. So, yeah.
And I also, something that's coming up for me is like, I also find that I have all these stories about what I think my partner is going to want or whatever, or like what I think he's going to be disappointed by. But it's been beautiful to observe that actually, like for me to really tune into and then give voice to my yoni has actually been really helping my lover with some of his performance anxiety issues, because there have been times where I have thought that he wanted to just like, you know, pound away at me. And then it turns out that he was actually feeling the pressure to do that. And so by me being like, whoa, can we not? It's actually really, it's been this beautiful opening. And I have found, like I've talked to some women who have been doing this. Actually, I won't name any names because but I remember years ago when I was with you in Thailand, talking to a girl who was going through something similar, and her partner was like not supportive. And she was saying like, hey, I think I need to make some changes. And he was not supportive of that. And like, okay, bye. But there are so many men who really do want to show up in whatever and like hold us in whatever. Like there have been times that my that we've gone from like having sex to me crying in his arms, and he loves that. It's not, I like have stories about how he might be disappointed or whatever, but not only is he not disappointed, he loves it, and it's helping him to see where he has stories about how he should perform.
Mhm.
And we're kind of like tearing this apart together and then like reconstructing it in a way that is actually really true to both of us and to both of our bodies. And it's like such a beautiful journey. And I think that this Jade Egg work really kind of like, it has a way of like separating the men who want to show up for us in the ways that we need them to, and they really want to be there and do the work alongside of us. And then there's like the men who like watch too much porn and are impatient and whatever. And what I would love to see is a whole world where the men who just like want to do it a certain way and think that they get to, they just don't get laid anymore. And then the men who are willing to sit with us and hold us when we cry in the middle of sex, and then get to experience like the juiciest orgasms we've ever had. Because yeah, they got to hold us when we cry for 4, 5, 6 times in a row. And then there's like this, this, for me, as I've been like apologizing less and thanking him more and trusting him that he's not frustrated, then it allows me more and more to say, okay, please pause, like, I don't know, or like, no, I'm not ready yet, or whatever. And to always be held on the other side of that. Then we have these like sessions, these like sexual sessions that like a former version of myself would have thought were like too slow or taking too long or whatever. But oh my goddess, then like a whole new like layer of my yoni opens to him. And we have these like moments where like, holy shit, I would love to be living in a world where the dudes who like aren't ready for that don't get laid anymore. And the men who are really ready to show up and hold us when we cry, and then get to be there with us when we are having like a new sort of orgasm that we've never had before. And then they get to feel like these like, these powerful men that are willing to like hold us when we cry, and then bring us to these new levels of ecstasy. Like they get to walk through the world with the same like pride in themselves that we have, as we're like working through all this together.
Yeah.
Like I would love to live in a world where like those men are like, yeah, really feeling like super satisfied, and they're telling all their buddies, dude,
Totally.
trust me, hold her when she cries, because like
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
worth it.
And I love like something that I feel like you're speaking to here is just like points to the idea that like when we decide to do this work for ourselves and to become more connected with our yonis and our sexuality and find healing and empowerment and awakening there, it naturally, like very naturally, is going to affect the partners and the lovers that we are with. And hopefully it's going to encourage them to, step it up in their own level of connection and consciousness that they're bringing to their sexuality, and perhaps even embark on their own journey of healing or whatever it is that they are needing to do. But I see this happening a lot with women and people with yonis, that it's like, they start and then it's like their partners are called into it. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. And it's also beautiful because if we feel to, we have the opportunity to really step up and share with our partners what we need and how they can serve us and how they can hold us and how they can, like, what we need if we just have to cry during sex. And like, it's not about you, but like, this is what's coming through and I want to hold open space for this. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 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 And I think also like, I think there are so many men who are also really struggling with this like pressure to perform and to show up in a certain way. And like, it's exhausting for men too, like they got to be rock hard on demand, and they got to like fuck
oh,
just right. All this,
totally,
it's
totally.
the same pressures. I mean, it's a little bit different, but I think that we all feel these pressures to perform. And then when we as women say, like, actually, I'm just going to tune into my body, we also give the men in our lives permission to do the same.
Totally. And I find a lot of these men, they're like, oh, thank God.
Yes.
I have to do, like, just like for me, I remember when I first started realizing, like, I don't have to do so much in sex, like, or when I'm with myself, I can really just relax and work on softening my yoni. It was like this, oh, like this, like, flash of light came through. And like when I can transmit that to someone else who I'm with, like I actually have been finding, especially recently, because I'm with a new partner, like they love this, like love having the permission not to have to, like you said, be rock hard and like stand up and perform. So here we are showing that like our own work with our own sexuality and with the yoni egg, that it is like having a far bigger impact than like just on our sexuality. It's really like touching all of these different levels of our lives, all of our relationships. And really it's like, we were talking about how it affects like how we stand in the world. So it's like, I always say that the ripple effect is huge, and like, I mean it.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, so any last little like dying things that you're feeling need to come out there about the yoni egg, or anything else before we cap this one? I know we could talk for like another like 6 hours about all of this stuff.
That's what I was gonna say, is like, how long do we have? This is actually feeling complete for me right now. It feels good. Like, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and taking part of your day, spending your time and your energy to be here and to share about
Really.
how the yoni egg complicated your sex life, but really it seemed like it was this massive opening for you to go deeper with yourself, which is just so, so beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Deeper with myself and with my partner. And
your partner.
there's like there's like these little moments of like complication, or what feels like complication, but it's actually just revealing to me how complicated it was and has been. And then there's like this relaxing into like what really is, and like letting go of all the pressure and complication, which has been a really beautiful journey. So
totally. Oh, I love it. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Katie.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
appreciate it. And yeah, for anyone who is still tuning in, the Jade Egg Initiation online course starts in 2 days. And Katie May has been there. You were there since like I was starting to do these Jade Egg courses like many, many years ago, just on Zoom, which is so awesome. And then she's been through the whole Jade Egg Initiation journey a couple times now, and will be there with us all this live round. So
yes, and actually for anyone who's like thinking about doing it, but like not really sure, I wasn't sure about like the financial investment last time. I was kind of like, do I have the money for this? And I finally went for it. And this time around, I get to just like join in again on the Zoom calls, because I'm like, I'm part of the club.
yeah.
So like, do it now, and you will have so many returns on your investment in yourself. Like I really can't say enough about how much this will bring, and you get to do it over and over. So like, do it now.
So it's like the best deal ever, because like you'll be able to do like dozens of rounds like throughout the next years of your life.
I'm so excited. I can do it again, and it feels like I get to like do it for free this time, which I'm really excited about.
Totally. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you to everyone who's been tuning in. Thank you, Katie May. I love you so much. And I will see you on Tuesday. And of course, if anyone has any questions about the course or anything else, you can either comment on this video or send me a personal message.
Yay. Thank you.
All right. Ciao, loves.
Yeah.